Hey guys, welcome to the Solos Post. My name is Joel, the Lightside Guy,
My name is Rob, the Rogue Jedi.
and today we're going to be going into a little bit about the Bendu that we see in Rebels.
Ooh, but I thought we were gonna do about the droids, but I
Um,
guess we could save that for the next video for our new subscribers, right?
yeah, we we definitely could. I know I would. I know that we've been talking about it for such a long time, and people have been like looking forward to it. But
Yeah, because we had a
uh,
video that it was like, what is it, the day we lost subscribers? So maybe this one could be the day we gained subscribers.
let's stick with the Bendu for now.
All
So.
right, let's go into it,
Guys,
bro.
we'll save that for the next video.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I really wanted to go into this because I felt like the Bendu has a lot to do with what is going to be happening with Admiral Thrawn, with Ezra, and the future of what Disney Plus is bringing to us. And
Ezra.
I think it's going to actually touch on the light and the dark side of the Force.
Yeah,
So let's talk a little bit about how we first meet the Bendu in Rebels, and I think this is a
season three.
season three, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep, it
Um,
is season three.
he talks about how like the dark side and the light side is in the middle of one source, and it's this force.
Correctamundo. And that's when he actually meets Kanan Jarrus because that's where he questions him, where he says basically, that's how you came to this planet because, basically like the will of the force brought him there, basically.
Yeah, and I feel like the wills. I think that's super important right now, going into what we're going to be
Yeah.
seeing very soon.
Yep.
Um, Seeing the attraction that's going to bring people to the force and the sensitivity that they're going to start seeing in the force through all these
Yep.
new characters, through all these new shows. Um, and going back into the Bendu, he speaks about that a little bit, about
Yep.
how like the force is all around us, and sometimes we have to use the force to see what is really going on around us and around the universe and what's going on. So let's go in depth into exactly why he's important. Um, I believe he's important because he's going to show, basically, he predicts Admiral Thrawn's defeat
He
in the
predicts a lot
show.
of things, dude. He predicts a lot of things. I One of the things that we were talking about before we came on was Ahsoka, right? Like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know this, but this is one of the things that actually Dave Filoni had posted about Ahsoka meeting the Bendu before Kanan did actually, and him predicting possibly what we interpret as either her death or his death. So that was
Yeah.
actually pretty interesting when Dave Filoni had posted this. And it was interesting, dude. It was really interesting. There's like a whole thing on it. And actually, I'm going to just read a little bit of it because I have it here.
Dude, how sick would it be of a flashback like that and she gets that in the show?
Well, I think it would have been awesome. And this is one of the things that Bendu says is you are on the set on this confrontation. Then Ahsoka says, I have to know the truth, which she means about this is all in regards to Anakin. Bendu says, so be it, but understand this, much will change as a result of this encounter, including you. So that's pretty deep. And then Ahsoka says, isn't that true to all things as time advances? My dear, when I say change, I mean death. So will I die? Will you? I don't know that. And then he goes, goodbye, Ahsoka Tano, former Jedi Knight. And I take that into when I hear that, I think of many things, right? I think when he's saying that, I don't think it when he says goodbye, former Jedi Knight, I end up thinking that Ahsoka herself becomes kind of like this Bendu type of a Jedi or type of a person because I feel
Like
like
gray Jedi's, right? Like right in the middle.
right. So I believe in Grey Jedi, but I know that it's not canon. So I guess the word to use is Bendu because if we, as you know, Bendu is the middle, right? He's neither light or dark, doesn't take sides, as we saw. When we saw in that battle with Admiral Thrawn, he really wasn't there to fight the battle for the rebels, right? He was just kind of there because he was upset at Kanan. As
Yeah.
you see them flying in the ghost ship flying away, and he's like Kanan, and then you see Harrison Dula basically saying, is he did you make him mad? He
Yeah.
goes, kind of. So, told you I remember, dude. See, I
No,
remember this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's crazy because guys, if you guys don't know where this was located, where he talks to Ahsoka, the mystery of Chopper Base,
Mhm.
it's right there. But again, that's an awesome insight because we
Yeah.
might, if we didn't get that in the show, we might get that in her actual live action,
Yeah.
whether it's a recollection, like sorry if I'm saying the
A
word wrong,
flashback.
a flashback or something, where she recalls
Yeah.
that moment. But we will be getting that. I think we should be getting that soon. And the fact that we
Yeah.
even got it scripted behind the scenes and letting us know
And it
that
was
it
by Dave
was said.
Filoni.
Yeah,
The fact that it was by Dave Filoni scripted as it was actually a tweet that he had posted out in writing. So I think it could have been scripted in a sense of maybe it's for the live action series, which I think that'd be so dope. And if we could see the Bendu in live
dude,
action, that'd be sick.
the graphics on
Like
that would be insane.
it would be. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to
He's
you.
like
Like
such a cool character. He's such a cool
he
character.
he's a cool character, but I mean, I feel like, and I told you before we started, it just looks like a bush, bro. Like, and this isn't like to come at
Well,
any like I hope nobody.
he's a because if I'm not mistaken, right when he predicts to Admiral Thrawn, like he
Yeah.
will fail. Basically, he's
Oh
kind of like saying that you're gonna fail.
yeah.
No matter what's gonna happen, you're gonna fail.
Right.
Um,
And that's when he's like, shoot them.
yeah. So on that moment, like he disappears.
Oh, when he shoots them from the sky.
No,
You
no.
talking about?
When Thrawn looks away,
Mm-hmm.
and then comes back, he's gone at that
Oh
moment.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the Bendu is basically gone within the
yeah.
Force.
The Force. Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled a Luke. Um,
He pulled the TLJ, the Last Jedi, for all our
but
fans that love that out there.
but no, I think personally we didn't lose him. He's not dead, and I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
don't.
gonna still be around. And I
Yeah.
think again he does, if I'm not mistaken, does say that he's part of many within the galaxy, within the Force. So
Yeah.
there are definitely more Bendu out there, and I think they're
Well,
going to play a crucial part to what we're going to see in the
but this
new
is
Jedi to come.
right, and you see like why you say that. So I guess I'm gonna ask this: when you say that, you mean that there's different? You mean that there's more Bendu as his species?
No, I think
Oh,
there
okay.
is
Kind of like
other.
what I said
Yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah.
like
Like
with
how
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka
Okay,
being like a Bendu type of the middle. There's going to be
right,
a lot of those people. So
right,
that's why. So this is the reason why I felt like it's important for us to talk about it today because I don't
yeah,
think. Again, I don't think Dave Filoni. I don't think any of these guys that really did it on purpose. I think a lot of this was all planned out,
right.
and I think he's such a cool character to introduce that middle to for us.
Yeah, hands down. I definitely agree. It's just crazy because we've always heard of the wills, right? The wills of the force.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see a little bit of. We got to see, well, not a little bit, but we saw a lot
So a
of them.
lot of it.
I know we saw them a lot, especially throughout the Clone Wars. But I think you saw more like I think we got a better understanding because they kind of rewrote that process in what is it, season 5 or 6 of the Clone Wars when Yoda goes to that I forgot I don't even know if it's a known named planet, but we know that he goes there, right? And he ends up talking to the wills of the Force, because he wants to learn how to basically, come like basically have his body of an essence, as a Force ghost after life, because that's what he's learning to do. Because again, we were taught that Qui-Gon couldn't do that because he never finished his training with the wills, right? So that was one of the things that we did see. So I thought that was a pretty big part with the wills of the Force, and I feel like that kind of like leads into all of that, and that's why we see this Bendu type of character, and I feel like they all intertwine a little bit, So I thought that was interesting, because it's a little confusing because also too in like I forgot what season it was. I think it's like the first, like the second or third. You see the wills, and we see a vision, right, of Qui-Gon. Remember? There's like you see his Force ghost,
Mm-hmm.
and then and in season 6 they redid it, and we don't see his Force ghost, and we just hear his voice. So they kind of changed that up because they had to fix it up, because they had to go back on what they said. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, man, I thought that was a really powerful episode too, talking on the wills of the Force,
Now,
And go ahead.
now going into the balance of the Force and the wills and everything, do
Yeah.
you feel like the Bendu was part of that in that sense of the wills of the force.
I don't think so. I don't. My opinion. I don't think the Bendu has to do with the will of the Force. I know from what I just said right now. I know it does kind of intertwine, like the way they make it seem. I don't think so because I mean, again, this is something talking basically on the balance, right? Um,
Hmm.
we're talking. We're learning that the two planets, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's Alikot and Bogan. If I'm not mistaken, those are the two planets that I could have swore I heard him mention, or maybe it was
Hmm.
just brought up. But those are the two planets that one is light, one is dark. It's mentioned in legends as well, and that's why I'm mentioning this now because in reality he plays a part in that in the beginning of all of that. As he said, he's been around for a long time. So I'm thinking all of that. And then when I hear that, I think of, okay, like I'm thinking on the planet Tython, you think of the origins, right? Like we go back to the beginning of like the Thoyu or the dawn of the Jedi, you
Yeah,
know. And that's why I say is like it's such a crucial point of those Thoyors. A lot of people don't know about it, but those were pyramid shaped spaceships that started the whole thing with Jedi, and it basically went around 8 planets and took anybody who was force sensitive, and whoever was force sensitive came on these ships, ended up on Tython, and you basically had where, and this is, I think this is a pretty cool on concept, right? So we know about Tython, right? I mean, you've heard of it, we've all heard of
yeah,
it, right? So it's cool because whenever there was an imbalance in the force within Tython, the planet itself would actually, like, you would have basically like storms, and you would have destruction all over the planet whenever there was an imbalance, which I think is pretty insane.
kind of what the Bendu does.
Exactly my point. So you see
Sick,
how
right?
it
That's
all
that.
you
Yeah.
see how it all correlates with, like, even legends and canon, it still all correlates and it intertwines because it goes to show you that in reality the Bendu are really old. He's a really old character. Because we're talking about, again, the beginning of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So that concept of how if there is an imbalance, as we saw in Rebels with Kanan, right? When that imbalance was there, and he was basically thread. He had told him. He said, "Also, if you don't, what Kanan had told Bendu, like, you're not gonna help us, so
Hmm.
you're just gonna let us die." And he even said it. I'm not here for either the light or the dark. And you saw that he, like, turn. You saw like lightning happen and
Yeah.
everything, which
So
I thought was cool.
right there. That's that. That's perfect. What you set me up for.
Go for it.
Um, the Bendu says, "We have brought war. You have brought war to my quiet world, Kanan.
Yeah.
Kanan, Jedi Knight.
Yep.
Um, and I will have no part in it."
Yeah.
Him being in between worlds. Do you think that, or not between worlds? Let me correct myself. Him
Mm-hmm.
being in between both good and dark,
Mm-hmm.
or light and dark. Do you think that had an effect on what's to come? That he had to interfere, almost like the wills interfering in things.
Um, I don't think. I mean, I guess I don't think it was interference because I think that it was something that Kanan needed to do for Ezra. Understand? Because Ezra was a little conflicted. Remember, he did go and tell him that Ezra was basically like he was reading upon the Sith holocron. He was kind of taking those teachings, and you saw much of that kind of like that anger in him, and he was kind of like really kind of rebelling against
Yeah.
Kanan. Kanan, as that's how I interpreted it. And you saw that, and you see that when he's about to go in the cave. He's like, "Oh, I wish I had my lightsaber, though." Before he goes in. So I mean, I think it was a lesson that they needed. I think it helped Kanan also as well, let go of much fear, you know, because we did see when those spiders did come, right?
Yeah.
He was scared. The first thing he did was he ignited his saber, right?
Yes.
And
And that's when the Bendu found
it
all the
was
conflict within him.
right, and he says, why do you yield your saber,
Yeah.
when you don't need to? He's like, do you understand the creatures? Do you truly understand them? And then he starts understanding that, and he
Mhm.
walks away, and he's basically like, because he's like, well, why do you walk away? Because I no longer fear them, and I have to go help Ezra.
So you
Because
can
he
see them
understood,
already.
right? He could see them, and he also sees that Ezra is in great, and it is much conflicted as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool, and I think, as I said, I think the Bendu, in this point in time for Rebels, I think it made sense at that point, and I think it
Yes.
was supposed to happen, just like For example, like I could see where Ahsoka comes into this. You know, I could see where
Hmm.
she could have went at one point because she's that. I mean, we learned that, right? We learned that she is that type of character. So
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that I mean, I love the fact that we actually got something that shows that Ahsoka met him. But I love
it'd be nice if it
every
was canon.
word that was, huh?
I said it would be nice if it was more canon, though.
And you
I
know
mean,
what? It
I
might.
guess,
I guess it might because it again, those words are so deep in the sense of you are
yeah,
set up to confrontation. Then
yeah,
I have to know the truth.
yeah,
So be it.
right,
But understand this: much will be changed. Much will change as a result of this encounter, including
yes,
you. Like this is literally foreshadowing everything she's going to be going through
yeah, it is.
and everything that she went through already. Leaving Order 66, leaving Anakin, fighting Anakin in the future, death to come, maybe another death to come, which me
Yeah,
and Rob have been talking about for a while off air. You know, like is she gonna die when in her
when
first
we get,
season? Like I
no, I don't
again,
think
guys,
so.
I don't think that's gonna happen. But like, are we gonna get closer to that death? Is
You
she
know,
gonna be? Is she gonna or is she gonna die internally and become
at one
a
with the
Bendu
Force.
at
Yeah,
one? Like not even at one with the
I'm sorry,
Force. Like
not one with the Force with
completely,
balance, the balance.
yeah, completely
But
balanced.
you
Is
see, like
she?
this.
Is she gonna be like not the one, but she's gonna? Is she gonna be
Well,
that
we
character?
yeah. See, this is one of the quotes that I took that I thought was pretty interesting from Bendu. And one of the quotes that I had taken was that he says is perhaps when he talks to Kanan, he says perhaps it's the will of the Force that the Jedi and your kind perish. So when
Who's
he said,
who's your kind?
well, think of well, that's what he's
I
saying.
think of that too. Like
What
Jedi and
he's
your kind. What kind is he then? Is he in the middle too?
well, I think what he's saying is that basically the Jedi and the Sith. That's what I think he's talking about because the Jedi and the Sith are so conflicted and there's so much going on that that's why he says that. You know, because at the end of the day, right?
Well, it still doesn't make sense to me because if he's saying the Jedi and your kind are so like the
Well,
way he's
you're kind.
speaking to me,
Well,
what
you're
what do you
kind
what do you
can.
take out of that?
I mean, I mean, Sith or Sith. I
But
mean,
he's not a
Jedi.
Sith. He's not a Sith.
He's not a Sith, but he's still talking about his kind who wield sabers as well. Sith do as well. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's what I'm getting out of it because at the end of the day, who's creating all the chaos? It's really the Jedi and the Sith. Because think of it like this, right? This is one of the questions that I actually wrote that I was thinking about, right? Would it be correct?
Excuse me.
Is right? Is it correct, right? Like, is the Bendu correct, right? Would there be a reason for the Jedi to strike back? I'm sorry, to strike back at the Jedi. Would it make sense?
Repeat that
Was it
question one
correct?
more time, bro.
Is the Bendu correct, right? Would there be a reason for the Force to strike back at the Jedi? Think about this one.
I think it's correct that the Force should literally revamp itself, and that's exactly what's happening.
And it is because again, there's a lot on that, right? Because if you think about this, when you had the prequels, right, the message was not through the light. It was there was so much corruption. They were not. And I said Akalat, but Alaka before it was the Ashla. That was what I meant to say. The Ashla. That was the word I said. I got so confused, dude. So
It's all good. It's all good.
my
All these
bad.
all these
My
names are
bad.
weird, bro.
Yeah, dude. Honestly,
It's all good.
dude, I'll start forgetting.
We're
So
we're
check
all
this out.
we're all learning.
So this is something that I took right from one of the things that I took from the novel, right, of Darth Plagueis, right. So I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna just right now go on a little read. This is for
Hmm.
everybody to basically educate themselves and hear this out. In the Darth Plagueis novel, right, it states that there's a clear understanding that the Force itself could destroy those who veered away and violated the nature of the Force. Plagueis shared the same belief as the Bendu. When the Bendu suggests that the Force is the will resulted in the destruction of the Jedi, Plagueis believed not only that the Force willed the Jedi to be removed to the galaxy, but the sent were the entity to do it. Plagueis even says that the Jedi didn't adhere to the wishes of the Force, which I do believe. but rather the wishes of the corrupt republic. And that's what I'm talking about in the prequels. He does the Jedi did not adhere to the rules of the Force, but more the corrupt republic. Because what were they more? And that's why you saw that difference with
That's why they
Qui Gon.
combined it. Yeah.
That's why you saw with Qui Gon, he wasn't with the whole Jedi
Hmm.
Council thing because again, they weren't fighting for what was right. And you hear it. For example, I posted that oh my god, my Instagram post on Obi-Wan. They were fighting for democracy. That's not what you were supposed to be fighting
Yeah.
for. That was the wrong thing to fight for.
Hmm.
That's where everything went wrong. And that's why once he said that in Revenge of the Sith, it just went
Hmm.
like for me because
There
it
was
didn't even
no,
make sense.
there was no connection, and I gotta tread really light on this one, but I don't feel like the connection through the Force was really being used in
No,
the
because they
sense
were
of
blind,
there.
dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying in general, like I just didn't feel like they were basically abusing their power. You know, they were going
Hands
against
down.
everything they believed in, thinking that they were believing in the right thing and they were doing the right thing. And they didn't realize that they were getting manipulated within.
Yeah, no, hands down. I agree, dude. I totally agree. You know, I think also too, like for example, for
You good, man.
example, uh, for example, you know, like if you think about it, like they were blinded, dude. They were really
Hmm.
blinded by the Senate. I mean, and the Republic, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, the councils who were really giving the orders, you know, and that's what they were adhering to, you know. So that was really the conflict, you know. But that's that was the
Getting
Republic. That was the
getting down to it though, like you guys are seeing firsthand and hearing firsthand, not only by us, but just by the facts that we're bringing up, how
yeah,
important the Bendu is. And the reason I put it up on Instagram was because of that. I believe the Bendu is going to be super important to what's to come. Are they going to speak on him again? Probably not, but he definitely gave us an insight on what the balance of the Force is and how important it is to be in there. Qui-Gon is one. We knew already. He had such a way with him. He had such a way with the Force. Um, Anakin was getting there until all the conflict got to him. Like he could have been there if he had the right one to train him. You know, like we could have seen something different. And then he finds balance in the Force, but unfortunately he's gone.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's crazy though, just because, like, it's just insane because if you think about it, right? Like, I think that obviously in the Plagueis book we know that it was a creation because you know you do get a 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker, you know, who was basically made by midi-chlorians, right? That was what was told by us, and that's why you see that, you know, Anakin was supposed to bring that balance, and I think he did in a sense because, you
Eventually.
know, eventually he did, yes, but you know, what was I gonna say? I just thought of something like I just think either way, like that's what it was at that point. I think that they knew that, and that's why you saw like the rise, right? The Revenge of the Sith. That's what you saw them basically come in because they knew already who Anakin was. Sidious already knew, and he had a plan. Uh,
And
Sidious
like the
and
Bendu
Plagueis knew.
and like the Bendu said, right? Like he wasn't manipulated by things. He wasn't
No,
manipulated by no, he was manipulated by his own will.
and the crazy
His
thing is that going back to the wills of the Force, that's what I was trying to get back at with Yoda. I think it's pretty funny because if you think about it, what one of the things that they said was that when they were training Yoda, they said that he was going to be the one to train the one that was going to save us, meaning save the galaxy. So I thought that was pretty powerful because it means a lot. Like it does go to show you that Luke was the one, you know, who brought that balance. I mean, at that time, I guess, but
yeah.
you know, I think the whole thing with the Bendu and the Wills of the Force, it's kind of like, you know, its own entity. You know, I think it's. I
Mhm.
mean, I definitely think it's two different things. Um, I just think
The
it. Yeah,
purpose I feel like is strong. I feel like the
yeah,
purpose is strong, and I feel like going back to it and talking about it and like just really like getting in depth into it to see like how far it goes back as well.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, let's think about that. Like just everything went into right now. Where you're talking about, we're talking about Plagueis, right?
yeah.
That's what you're just talking about. So going back he even understood that.
Yeah.
He even understood there was a balance between there was a balance in the
Yeah,
force.
and that's why Anakin was made, because he was gonna be, he was that balance. They didn't know it, but once they found out that once the Jedi Council had found him, Sidious heard about it. They knew already, and then that's when they knew, and that's what you saw. He grew a relationship with Anakin
This is
because
the moment. This is the moment where I feel like I wish Dave Filoni was just like one call away. You know what I mean? Like just to
at
pick
that
his
point in
brain at
time.
this, and
Oh
huh?
yeah, I get
No,
what
no,
you're
I'm
saying. I
saying
get what
just
like,
to
yeah.
pick his brain at this because to be honest with you,
If
like
that was the
it's
point, if that was the thing, bro, we wouldn't even be here right now. Let's be real, bro. If he was a call away, bro, we would not be talking right now. Let's
oh,
be real.
hold on. It's like like, but no,
I'm sorry,
no,
Mr. Filoni.
yeah,
Yes, you have the Solos post on line one. Okay.
yeah, and to be honest with you, like, dude, like again, I don't think any of this stuff was done on purpose. I on accident. I think it was all done on purpose, and I think we're gonna get so much out of this. The future of Thrawn, again, he's still alive. The
Yeah.
future of Ezra, um,
My name is Masood. Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna get so much, and honestly, the Bendu, I feel like is such a great topic that is probably not finished here with our conversation, but definitely for more conversations to come.
Yes,
And we
sir.
will see it. We will see it. And if
Yeah.
we get to see him in Ahsoka or it in Ahsoka, that would be great. And if we get to see the entity of what it is,
Yeah.
that would be awesome too.
Yeah. I think
And
it'd be really, really awesome.
I think that's awesome. And guys, we appreciate you guys watching the Solos Post and kind of getting our insight on what we have here. Next up will definitely be a little bit about droids
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
clones and stuff like
Definitely.
that. But we appreciate you guys listening in. Guys,
Yeah.
if you have any comments, any questions for us, let us know. One day we would love to read them and definitely bring them up on our channel and answer some questions for you guys.
Q&A. Q&A.
Yeah, but in that note, Rob, you have anything?
That's it, man. I think today was awesome. It was great. It was a great conversation. Truly, truly, truly exciting to get this out to you guys, as we've been talking about it for a while, and it's a pretty mind blowing conversation and topic. As we know, other people love this kind of stuff, so it was nice to get out.
But I appreciate you guys again. Thank you for you guys for tuning into the Solos Post.
Yep.
And don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends. Comment down below. All right, guys? Thank you.
Let your friends, family know, and let the world know. Other than that, guys, keep spreading the word on the Solos Post. Positivity goes a long way. And again, guys, from me and Joel, may the force be with you
The
guys.
force be with you.
Stay
Later,
safe,
guys.
guys.